I have got a treat for you. I'm going to show you the beta version of the most exciting tool to hit Utopian platforms. It is the collaboration tool. Hi, I am Eliziam and welcome to my channel. Now, we mentioned the collaboration tool a couple of days ago and we had such an incredible response. We couldn't possibly not show you more. So Andrew, thank you so much for coming back to join us and show us what it's all about.
You're absolutely welcome, Eliziam, and thank you for inviting me back.
No, it's a pleasure. So the collaboration tool, we touched on it in a video the other day. It is all about bringing people together online to complete a collaborative project. And that collaborative project could take many forms. The example that you gave was the creation of a book, for example. If you want if you're writing something and you want an editor, or you want an illustrator, or you want a book cover designer, you can bring those people in and set out milestones in the task, and you can assign payment for those items as well. And I'm right in saying, aren't I, that that payment works in both virtual currency, so salt and pepper, but it also works in actual money?
In the beta version, we have actual money switched off. So at the moment, it's only salt and pepper, but certainly in the future, you'll be able to pay in different currencies and potentially even in things like Apple Wallet and even cryptocurrency.
That's too cool. That's too cool. Okay, so how about if I do the on-screen demo and you talk us through the process of setting up a collaborative project? Now, am I right in saying that first of all, we've got to get our CRM up to date?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. So if you just want to go to the members menu and bring up your CRM, so you'll see that the people that you have in your CRM, they are the people that you can include in your project. In fact, all of the tools from within, certainly all the business tools from within Utopian, use that CRM as the basis of what people are actually involved in what you're doing. So for example, if you go to pay somebody with salt and pepper in the wallet, you'll also see that list. So if there were anyone else that you wanted to include in your collaboration, you would add them through the CRM. You don't have to add them before you start. If you're building your collaborative project and you suddenly realize there's somebody else, or somebody else comes in and you decide you're going to use them, you can go and add them to your CRM and they'll become visible in your collaborative tools.
And we don't have to show this right now, but because it was demonstrated in a previous video, which I will link, but it is done through going into their profile and then using the tick at the top of their profile bar. And that is what puts them into your CRM.
That's exactly right. And you will get a message to say that they've been added. And then if you go back to that profile in the future, you will see that actually the tick is no longer there. If you want to remove somebody from your CRM, you actually do it from the CRM itself.
So as you can see, I've got both you and Reshma in my CRM at the moment. And I would like to set up a project.
Okay, so if you go to the members menu, and you'll see that just over halfway down, there's one called collaboration tools. So if you want to click on that.
Got it, yeah.
So the first thing to take note of when you go into this screen is that this is actually a list of all of the projects, the programs that you've already got, set up or that you're a part of, because there are two ways that you can be listing a collaborative project on this page. One is that you own the project, you're the one who set it up, and in which case you will have full editorial access and admin access to that program. The other way is if somebody else has actually included you in a program or a project, that they've involved you in some way, then it will also be listed here, but you'll have a lot less rights. You won't have the same sort of level of authoring admin rights that you get if you're the one who's creating a project. So if you look up into the top right corner area of the screen, you'll see there's a place where you can actually start a new project. So if you want to click that for me.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's going to take you into a wizard. So this makes it a lot easier to start a new project because basically what you're able to do from here is put in the main details and it'll guide you through. And you'll see at the top middle of the pop-up boxes appear, you'll see that you've got details, people, and goal. And at the moment you're on details. So we're able to actually define the different parts of what we want the program or the project to be going forward. So we're going to start by giving our project a name. And we're going to offer it some detail, a description of what our project is. And we're going to give it a start and an end date.
Okay.
And then once we've done that, we can save that detail. And this is really where your CRM comes in. If you look here at the moment on this window, you'll see that there's one person. And that's even before you've added anybody. And that's because when you start a new program, you as the owner, you're always involved. And you can see that we always name the person who owns the program as me. And that's because it's you who's actually looking at it as the owner. So we decided we'd take all the ambiguity out and all the formality out, and we just say that you own it. So it says me. You can see the date that it was added. You can see that your role is owner, and you can see that your rights are as an owner. And owner rights means that you have full authoring for admin rights. Now, if you click the add button, top right corner, that will actually bring up your CRM. So now you're starting to see the strength and the power of the CRM within the system. And what you can actually do is you can click the boxes of the people that you wish to include in your project. And then you can click the save button and you will see that they are added to your project.
Perfect.
Now, the other thing that you'll now see is that your people that you've added, they've actually come up as having a role, which is role, and you can change that in the drop-down box. So, for example, you might make somebody an author, or if none of those things in the list are actually what you're wanting it to be, you can click user define and you can actually enter in a role that isn't listed.
That's incredible. Okay.
Once you're happy with what you have there, what you can actually do is click save. And that will take you to your goals.
So this is the project management bit.
This is effectively, yeah. So what you've done so far is you've said, I've got a new project. This is what it's called. This is the description of it. This is when it will start. This is when it will end. We've also said who's involved and what their roles are. So already we've got the goals, and yet we've already created a large number of fundamental cornerstones for our program, or for our project. We know what it's called, what it is through its description, when it starts, when it ends, who's involved and what their roles are. And we haven't even said what our milestones are yet. So if we click add in the top right corner, and what you'll actually see is that there are various different task types as defined by the drop-down box on the right-hand side. Now for beta, we actually only have 3 task types. One is a milestone, one is a file upload, which can be used in a couple of different ways, and one is a scheduled payment. So let's just, for now, create a milestone. And we want to give our milestone a name.
There we go.
We want to give it a description. We want to say who's actually going to be involved by clicking the various different boxes. And let's give our milestone a date for a start. So for example, a date in March. And then we're going to click save. You don't need to put an end date in for a milestone. Although you can. And when you click save, what you will actually see is various things appearing on your screen according to what. Now, we won't at this point add any more milestones or goals of any kind. Instead, let's click the save button.
Mm-hmm.
So what the save button has done is it's taken us back to the My Project screen, and right at the top you'll see that you've got your new project that you've just added. You'll see its name, its start and end date, the description, the people who are involved, the current goal that we're on, and who the owner is. And because you're the owner, you'll see there's also a red cross in the final column, which can be used to remove the project if you change your mind and you decide you don't want to do anymore. And if you click on that project, it will actually take you now into the project management screen.
Ah.
When you're in the project management screen, again, what you see will differ according to what role you are playing within the project. As a project owner, you'll pretty much see everything. You'll see the assigned people, you'll have the ability to change their roles, you'll be able to add new people, you'll be able to add new goals, and you'll see the goals for everybody. However, if you've added a specific person and they're viewing this same project as a participant, they will only see the goals that are assigned to them. They won't see the goals that are assigned to other people unless they're relevant. So there are various different things that you can do from this screen as a participant or as an owner. One thing you might want to do is click on an actual goal. So if you click on the goal that you've just set up, see the details for that goal and what it is that needs to be done to achieve it, payments or uploading files. And when you're uploading a file, an upload file goal can be one of two things. It can either be a file that you are uploading yourself to the system for somebody else to view within the project, or it could be that you are requesting that somebody else uploads a file. So an example might be, as an author, I upload a manuscript for my editor to view, but then I might have another milestone, which is for my editor by a certain date to get a manuscript back to me. And that could be set up with the intention that they are going to upload a file. So the way that a file upload is used is, it differs depending on your intention. And then when you upload the file appears at the bottom of the screen. Also, if you upload a file and you then go to the milestone for an uploaded file, you'll actually see the details of the file that's been uploaded, plus the ability to change the file and remove it. So you've got capacity to be flexible and change what you're doing with those files. With payments, you can schedule a payment. It's very, very self-explanatory within the template, and that payment will be made currently only with Salt and Pepper on the date it's scheduled to be made. And if you schedule a payment through the collaborative tools for a specific date, when you go back to your wallet and you go to the management screen within the wallet, the payment that is scheduled is actually listed in your management screen. So the wallet and the collaborative tools do talk to one another quite nicely.
Oh, that's brilliant. And what about if the milestone hasn't been achieved? So will the payment automatically not go, or do you have to manually cancel it?
There are various different ways that a payment can be set up within the collaboration. It can be that it's triggered by completion of the milestone, or it can be that it's triggered manually on a specific day by the owner, or it can be that it is triggered on a specific date. So there's some flexibility with how the payment is actually issued out.
Absolutely brilliant. This is such a phenomenally powerful tool. You and Shoaib have done amazing to get this up and running and working. It's superb. It really, really is.
Thank you very much. I must reiterate, and I know that I sound like a bit of a broken record when I say this, but it is beta. There are going to be bugs and problems, and we want you to report those bugs and problems so that we can work on them. We also want you to give us your ideas on maybe new task types you'd like to see added, or maybe there are some ideas you have of things that can be added in to enhance the system in other ways. We want to hear all of those because this is not like anything we've ever released in the system before that's been relatively straightforward tech that can be released usually in days, if not a week or two. This has been quite a long haul project, and we do understand that there are still quite a few things we could add if we wanted. But the fundamental thing to remember is that this is connected into your CRM and your wallet. They all talk to one another, and you can collaborate with one another.
I think you're allowed to call it groundbreaking, because that's exactly what it is. Now, there are all of the normal ways to get in touch down below, and I'll stick some extra links for you down there as well. So there is just enough time for me to thank you for liking, subscribing, and putting that alert bell notification on. And remember, if you like this channel, don't tell me, tell your friends. I'll see you next time.